So Reba set up a room for them in the conference hall of this resort. And it had these tables set up with just whips and collars and masks and
handcuffs
and a swing set and just bondage gear, which she said that she wanted to introduce these couples into the landscape of yes, and how she wants to open their eyes, give them a judgment-free zone of letting everyone in and try stuff out that they've never felt comfortable messing around with before, and ask questions and that sort of thing. How shocked were you when the first person to jump in was Brandon?
Listener discretion advised. Adult language and mature content.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Two Queens, One Screen. I'm Jen.
I'm Keeley.
And we just had our birthdays, so we're in very good moods. Except for my birthday hasn't happened yet, but I'm celebrating anyway. Keeley's been playing video games. I've been on monster trucks. We're lucky girls. I had a magician. My dad got me a magician. I don't know if you noticed, he's now on Facebook as BIL, brother-in-law.
Nice.
He and I actually haven't spoken about it, but my assumption is that he's doing that so he can start commenting on our stuff.
Nice.
So people know who he is. This is my guess. I'm just assuming. Dad got me a magician for my birthday, and he blew my mind. And I, honest to God, think that this needs to be something that makes a strong comeback. People should have magicians at parties. I don't want to go to a party without one from now on.
Wow.
That's how I genuinely feel. How's your week going?
It was pretty good after the whole arcade and skating with not quite teenagers. It was pretty fun. Had a good time.
Are you sore after doing that?
No, it's okay. It's not bad.
I just took my kids skating and I didn't go because I was like, I'm not falling in front of preteens. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to have children laugh at me.
No.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, it's not for very long. And then the next day we let them go to the mall and they just did their own thing, which was lovely because we got to do our own thing.
When they hit that age that you don't have to hold their hand the whole time, you're just like, go, and then come back eventually, please.
Yes. Just check in. It's amazing. It was good.
Nice.
But other than that, I wanted to ask you something about this week's episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I'm loving this season.
Yes.
It's not as high stakes. I guess technically for like Dorit it is. But in general, I feel like it's toned itself down a little bit to not be stressful to watch it anymore.
Yeah.
Is my feeling.
Yeah. So this week's episode, they're still in St. Lucia and it's the evening. They just landed. They're going all to dinner. And Bose talks to Dorit and she says, you know, because Bose, Dorit, and Erica are sharing a villa.
Oh, I would love to be there.
Yes. So
that would be the villa I want to be in.
Yeah, it's basically a house, right?
Yeah.
So Bose goes to Dorit and says, hey, my side of the villa, I have an open shower, like this beautiful walk-in shower. If you want to come look at it, if you want to come use it, feel free. So Bose is telling the table this story, and Bose is saying, Dorit has this adverse reaction and says, I don't want to do that. And Bose says, well, what do you mean? And Dorit says, I don't want to be naked. And Bose says, well, you don't need to be naked in front of me, obviously. And Dorit says, well, I don't want to be naked. I was never naked in front of PK. I'm not naked in front of my husband.
Oh.
I'm not one of those people. And Bose looked at the table of everyone and was like, are you ladies not naked in front of your husband? Like who doesn't do that? And then, they go to the interview and Bose says, I just find that so weird. Like, I want to be naked in front of my husband. I'm naked in my own home. I'm one of those people. And I just wanted to ask you that. Are you one of those people that are comfortable being naked in front of your husband? Obviously, you're not going to walk around naked in your house with your kids there.
Yeah.
But like if you're in your bedroom, are you comfortable doing that?
Now that my kids are older, it's obviously much more regulated. Like when they were little, it would be kind of whatever, and then they hit pre-elementary school and you're like, well, definitely need to have at least a towel on if I'm walking from the bedroom to the bathroom kind of situation. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with it, I guess, to an extent. But then also I heard French women are never naked in front of their husbands because it keeps the mystery alive. So then since I saw that on a TikTok, it's really affected me. I'm like, oh, I should leave something to the imagination. But then there's some nights where you're like, I'm tired and I'm bloated, so I'm just gonna Winnie the Pooh this in like a big t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't think that's sexy because I probably had nachos. Yeah, I'm a pretty comfortable naked person.
Well, Jennifer Tilly tells this funny story, and I think they had a commercial about it where I think her one of her boyfriends, maybe her first husband, she was doing a photo shoot in a bathtub with bubbles, and she was naked, actually naked in this bathtub underneath the bubbles, and she stood up to, I think, take a break or move somehow, and her boyfriend was there. She's telling the table her boyfriend was there, and she stood up and the bubbles slid down, and her boyfriend was just horrified and was like, Jennifer, you're naked in front of everyone at the photo shoot. And she's like, right, I'm doing a photo shoot. And he's like, you're naked. And she explained that he had never seen her naked, that when they had sex, she would, prepare herself, I guess, put on her makeup, do her hair, get into bed, take off her clothes, and then he would come in the room, take off his clothes underneath the covers, and then they would have sex. And she was like, that's how he wanted to do it. I should have saw that as a red flag back then, but I didn't. So my question was in the context of, is it a red flag, right? If your boyfriend or husband, I guess, doesn't want to see you naked?
Or 100%. Why wouldn't you want to see?
I don't know.
I mean, if you're trying to be like Midge Maisel, like all done and everything prepared for it, and like, I'm uncomfortable with my body, so I don't want you to see it all. Let's turn the light off. That's one thing. But like, did PK not want to see her naked?
Right.
Unless, or is she like, she's such a perfectionist. I'm wondering if she's self-conscious. Although she looks incredible.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's some weirdness. I think that's a red flag with Dorit and PK, that one of them, one or the other, maybe has some issue with that, because she fully, obviously, expressed without hesitation to Bose, look, I don't do that. I don't walk around in front of him. He doesn't see me naked. And
I don't know. I'm not a naked in front of other women person. Like, if I go to the gym, I am going to drive all the way home before I shower. Not going to get naked in the shower. Also, like, if I'm going to the bathroom, I don't want to talk to someone when I'm going to the bathroom. You know, when you, like, if you're, like, at Target with a friend and you both go to the bathroom at the same time, I need that conversation to stop. I always feel obligated to keep the conversation going, but I hate it. I hate it the whole time. I want to pretend the second that I walk in that bathroom door, unless I'm washing my hands, I want to pretend like we don't know each other. I want to suspend reality in that moment and just do what we need to do and then never speak of it again.
Well, I was watching them talk about being naked, and I was realizing that with Steve, I'm completely comfortable being naked in front of him, like changing my clothes in the bedroom or taking a shower, and he's at the sink doing whatever he's doing, and it's completely fine. But in my first marriage, it was horrific for me, because every time I was naked, right, my husband wanted to have sex every single time. And that's what I equated it to. And so I was terrified. I was terrified to be naked in front of him because I didn't want to have sex, because it was, I never had the choice. It was never my choice to have sex. I was never the one that wanted to have sex. He was always the one calling the shots. This is when we're having sex. This is the time of day. This is the day of the week, right? All of those things. And so I was terrified and I never wanted to. I never wanted to tell him when I was taking a shower. I never wanted to tell him when I was changing my clothes. I never wanted to be naked at all, ever.
Yeah.
And so when I got married to Steve and I realized one day he came in and I was going to take a shower and I had an adverse reaction to him asking me if I was going to take a shower. And this whole conversation came up and he was like, it's okay. I don't want to have sex with you right now. Right. I had to work through that.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
that's
that's what
intense.
was going on. And
Wow.
he didn't take it the wrong way. And I'm glad of all of that. But that's what I realized watching just that little part of the show, that I'm completely comfortable now because I don't have that relationship where I had it in my first marriage that I do now. And I wonder if it was something like that with Dorit or, other women have that.
That's really interesting because they talk about, I had watched something where someone was dissecting the relationship between Dorit and PK.
Yeah.
And it was like Dorit, before she met PK, had her clothing line. She was international. She was making her money. She got with PK and they had a family. And it was about PK and his job with Karma Chameleon. I can't remember his name. Boy George, right? And like the producing thing. But that's not actually where that money was coming from. And then when she was done having babies and decided to do the bikini line, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And then she went on the girls' trip and came back, and PK had changed the name of the bikini line.
Yes.
Changed all the plans that she had for the runway show. And took it over, could not handle her being the one in that position. He has to be the one to call the shot. So I think you might be right. I think it has a lot to do, I was thinking it might have to do with her insecurity. She actually isn't a very insecure, especially not physically, woman.
Yeah.
I think it might have a lot to do with PK being in charge and calling the shots in that way. That's a really interesting insight I would not have considered.
Yeah. I just thought about that, because a lot of women, they even just any sort of physical touch with their partner or their husband, they equate that to having sex, right? You're holding my hand, you're rubbing my back, you're touching me at all. They think they want to have sex because that's what the husband does, right? And it's really sad. It's a negative life to lead. And I had that and I just wondered.
No, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
In that. And then, so that's carried for Dorit. That's carried on across the board.
Oh, it's very freeing to not have that pressure. I mean, obviously we're not walking around naked and I don't think that you are either, but if you're in your own home, in your bedroom, and you're able to change your clothes, obviously with the door shut and things like that, and you're not having some neurotic breakdown, right? That's a win.
I did grow up with a mom who was too naked. I had a too naked mom. A mom that was naked all the time in front of all of us all the time. So I'm never going to do that.
Okay. Right.
And then also I have boys. So
yeah,
I had to put all this away when they were really little.
Yeah. So when you watch it this week, just look at that. Watch for that conversation. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to talk about some other marriages falling apart on reality TV?
Oh my gosh. This is the next to the last episode, everybody. Holy smokes.
We have next week, we are going to have our recommitment ceremonies or not.
Or not. Yeah. Or not. They called this the last frontier, and I'm not quite sure why.
I think because they were running out of the lasts.
Oh, probably. I guess.
This one had a lot of therapy. They threw all the therapy at the end.
Yes.
They were like, we don't really need it until the end. And I don't think anyone figured anything out.
This one, I feel like the Between the Sheets and the actual show were two different shows. Two different shows, people. And I feel like Between the Sheets was better than the actual show for me. Anyway. And
These producers,
I
I'm
know.
so irritated at them.
I know. My God.
I think what we should do is start light and easy and then get load on to the more intense stuff.
All right. Hit it.
So I guess we have to start with just at the very beginning of the episode, we got 2 seconds of Gino and Jasmine ending a group therapy.
Yeah.
And Gino is saying, and we had talked about this last time, he said that he wants her to share her location so he knows where she is, and then he might feel more comfortable with the open relationship. Okay. And then she's like, great. And she immediately shares her location in that moment at therapy. She's like, my location's turned on. Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah.
We talked about location last time, and I guess it's about trust and comfort. But again, I think if you're checking someone's location because you don't trust them, then it's really not a useful tool.
No.
Because if you don't trust them, then you don't trust them.
Well, it's another way for him to control, just like Reba said. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gross.
Yeah.
So everyone is confused by this, and he turns himself into a victim, which we need to wade into that a little bit more deeply, because there's a lot that happens between Gino and Jasmine. So that's the end of that group therapy. They gave us literally 2.5, 3 minutes, and then they're like, this is the end. Just throw it on the end. Again. You've got that, and you've got the Between the Sheets. We didn't need that spread across 2 episodes. We didn't need to have to give that little preemptive bit in this podcast.
Yeah.
Let's see. Darcy is leaving. Darcy's about to fly out because they haven't decided to go to the next group therapy yet. Darcy's leaving, and I am in the twilight zone with these women because Stacy's worked out some of it with Florian. She's deciding whether or not she's going to trust him, but she's 100% back on twin power with Darcy. Darcy was destroying her marriage 2 days ago. And then Darcy was like, I think Florian walked someone home. And she's like, what? Now she and Darcy are back in their power. Stacy's already sad that she's leaving. This is insane to me. They just immediately revert. What made it even more obnoxious to me is they don't say anything of substance to each other. Yep. They say coffee mugs, or you know how people will get the little signs that they put on their desk? It's like hang in their kitten thing. Yes. It was like, stay in your power. You got this. Yeah. Listen to your heart. Listen to your gut. I got you, girl. It was just like the most nonsense conversation. It was worthless. Yep. But they both feel very connected again. Darcy also then gets interviewed and is like, I don't really think anything's going to change. I don't think this did anything. Then they all go to another group therapy, as in the final check-in of group therapy, which would have been helpful to do more of these.
Of course.
And they have each couple give one word to sum up how they're feeling in their relationship. Yeah. Right then. Florian and Stacy, Florian goes, it's better. Yeah. It's better. I think we're on a much better path. Like, he's just never has bought into any of this. And he's like, it's great. You guys did a great job. We're doing great. Everything's fine. Because he's so avoidant. Stacy says she's conflicted. And she said basically that she doesn't feel like the trust issues are resolved, especially now that there's this whole new thing that she has to grapple with that Darcy brought up. And she wants to see more action from Florian. She's like, I want you to look at me when we're talking. I want you to not yell at me. I think that they are going to be in this cycle forever. Yeah. I think he's going to give her a little bit and she's going to go, look, it's fixed. And he's going to go, family. And she's going to go, oh yeah. Yep. And then they're just going to end up doing it again. Yeah. But also she said that she's worried that that's what's going to happen. So maybe she recognizes it. Maybe she's finally going to end it. I don't know.
Well, if she never forgives him for cheating, then this is what will happen. The other person, like I've said, I will say it 100 more times. 101. Here we go. Mm-hmm. If the other person cannot forgive the cheater for cheating, you need to leave the relationship, because if you keep holding it against that person, it's just ruining both of your lives. It's not
Yeah.
fair to the person. I know he cheated, right? And I'm not saying the cheating is okay, but you cannot keep punishing him over and over and over. And that's what she's doing. All she does is punish him. All she does is bring it up over and over and over again because that's what she wants. That's what she likes. That's what she's used to. And that's what their cycle is her punishing him for him cheating. He says it's better because he apologized. And she's like, okay, thank you. I love you. He said, I love you back. That's what he saw. That's why he thinks their relationship is better. So I don't understand. And then she turns around and says, well, there's this girl in Miami. Are you fucking kidding me? You just told your husband, I love you. Thank you for saying I'm sorry. Are you serious? The man is so confused. Stay in a lane, pick a lane and stay there.
It's not even that she's just unclear, I think, with herself about where she wants to be. I think she wants everything to be fine. And he's like, you want it to be fine? Then it is fine. It's fine now. Look, shut up and let's go. She has all of these conflicting feelings about her relationship with her sister and her relationship with her husband and her mistrust of her husband, and also the fact that she and her sister are bitches to each other. All of it's so tangled in with each other so that one little step forward feels like a relief, but it's tangled up in everything else, so it's not really getting better. I think they're just going to keep doing this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's not all him, is what I'm saying.
No, I don't think it's all him, because I think she's going to participate exactly the same way and do exactly the same things all over again. Because if she can 180 on her sister like that, and then they give us the little sneak peeks. We see little tiny bits of the recommitment ceremonies, and I genuinely am 50-50. I don't know if they're going to recommit or not.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
I can't tell either.
Same with Julia and Brandon.
Yes, ma'am.
So Julia and Brandon, let's see, Brandon's word was momentous. She said, I'm going to get a second opinion. And he's like, great, everything's fine. Amazing. And she's like, okay. Her word is family. And he's like, yep, because we're going to do this family thing. It's all going to be great. And she's like, no. I mean, all of our family is an issue that is still happening. Your parents and my parents. I think he is so one-track mind on baby.
Yeah.
That you could see his face fall. He had genuinely forgotten about the other stuff because, baby, it's going to happen. We're great.
Yep.
And she's like, you haven't said anything to me about my parents yet. And we see little bits and pieces right before the recommitment ceremony where she's like, I need to know that you're supportive or we are not going to be recommitting. So I don't know if that's going to happen either.
Right.
Because he does not seem supportive at all. And I don't fault him for going, I don't want to bring a volatile divorced couple into my home that I have to be financially responsible for. Yeah, that sounds awful. I don't want to do that either. He's brought his own baggage into the marriage as well. Rob and Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
I have opinions on that. I think we know. But Rob said he felt steady. Like, through this therapy retreat, things have become less chaotic. Sophie says that her word is confusion because she came back and she's been doing this retreat, and how she walked into the retreat and what she feels has changed significantly. That is actually very confusing for her. Not to mention the fact that she lives in Austin.
Yeah.
And Rob is going to be moving back to LA. They haven't been living together, but they've both been in Texas. She's kind of created a group of friends there. She's created her little life there, separate from Rob, which is, not bode well for them. But he's going to be going back to LA. He wants her to go back with her. He wants to go back as a married couple.
Yeah.
And she's like, so you want me to give everything up that I've built here? And he's like, yeah, because we're married.
Yeah.
She's just too young.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's also 20, whatever, 5 or 23.
23.
Yeah, 23.
I mean, she's too young. They never should have gotten married.
Yeah.
I honestly think that they both had good intentions, but she's too young. She doesn't understand committing her entire life to a marriage the way that it would need to work.
Yes.
With him.
Yeah. Yeah.
She made the comment, it's, you married someone who wasn't your dream man. Yeah. And that's okay. And I was like, oh, if someone named Matt said that I wasn't his dream girl in a recommitment ceremony, no one would be walking away from that unscathed. Like, that's an awful thing to say.
I know.
But Rob is just like, what does she want? I don't understand what she wants. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I really understand what she wants either. Why are they still married? If this is the last try, what does Sophie want? A paycheck from this show so she can have a little bit of money on the side as they start getting divorced and going through that process. I don't know how Rob's paying for anything right now anyway.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I still go back to the fact that she had a terrible childhood. She didn't have anyone to show her how to be an adult, how to function in society. And then when she lives with someone or has a partner in some sort of fashion, does she know how to do that? Are we surprised that she doesn't know how to do that? No, we're not surprised. And I'm not trying to make excuses again, but he just gets so goddamn mad at her for not knowing how to do these things and doesn't have patience with her and say, okay, let's figure this out and let's go, like, step up and show her how to do these things. But he won't do it. He throws these man tantrums and he won't show her how to do these things and say, okay, to move to LA, this is how we buy a house, or this is how we pay bills, or this is how we whatever, right? And he doesn't do that. He just stomps his feet and gets really mad. And yeah, it's scary to start all over again and make friends and get a job and do all of those things. But he doesn't comfort her and he doesn't help her. And he just gets mad at her and say, what the fuck do you want? I don't know what you want. And screams at her. And that's what bothers me. That's what I think about. And that's what I don't understand when he says, I don't know what she wants. Well, you don't take the time to ask her. And then when you do ask her, she does come up with these fantasies because that's all she knows. Because when she was a child, that was the last time someone asked her. I'm not quite sure.
And then you criticize her for being unrealistic. I don't understand these people who date people whose brains have not stopped growing yet. If your brain is still in the process of forming, let them grow before you rip them apart for being idiots. They're not done cooking yet.
Yeah.
I find him very frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Although I did appreciate him because I feel like he was doing what I wish the therapists were doing in that group therapy for Gino and Jasmine. So Gino and Jasmine, they've decided that they're going to talk some more about this open marriage thing. And he had accused her of cheating. And then he says he wants her location. And it's very interesting how in the 12 to 24 hours this all evolves for him. Basically, they end up going shopping the next day. They're kind of talking things over. And he suddenly agrees to open marriage. What?
Yeah.
Why? And he's like, well, I feel like I've been really backed into a corner. Matt and I were screaming at the television. Screaming. He literally says, okay, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. And then she's like, is that yes? Are you saying yes? And he's like, well, don't be so excited. She's just shocked.
Yeah.
She didn't even look happy. She was like, what the hell is happening right now?
Yeah.
He's like, well, you're always so mad at me about, he couldn't even say it. She had to say it for him, sex.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and I see now that I might lose you. So now's the time I need to take action.
Mm-hmm.
He literally explains that his options are lose Natalie and have to get a divorce or open marriage. And he's completely forgotten that he could fuck his wife.
Yeah.
What? That's how he's taking action?
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go sleep with other men. He is so insane for thinking that anyone is hearing this and agreeing with him. And Jasmine is in his own little world that he has created, where he's made all of the rules. And it became very clear as he's explaining, well, I need to see your location. And she's like, yeah. And we both have to agree on the rules together. And I want this for you. And I know it's going to be really hard for me to see you be with other people. Because he keeps using it as a weapon against her. He's like, well, how are you going to feel when I'm with somebody else? And she's like, it's going to be hard. But I know that that's something that I want for you, if that's something that you need. You see him just kind of building and constructing this open marriage as another way of controlling Jasmine. And they actually have a little mini session with Reba, where Reba's trying to explain, like, these are things that you need to keep in mind. And then Jasmine's like, yeah, we're thinking maybe 1 or 2 days a week. And they're like scheduling it. She can only be gone for 4 hours at a time. Also, he's going to take her on a date so they can build their intimacy. And I was like, you should just do what? And he's like, he has no option. This is all, he's been cornered into this. He's creating it. It's just another set of rules that he's going to make her follow and then punish her if she doesn't follow it.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing that I thought was really interesting. Everyone's shocked because they know that at this point, they know that Jasmine has Matt lined up for this. And she's like, I really think he should beat Matt so he can understand what's going on. He's like, if you're falling in love, we have to end it immediately, which... okay. And he doesn't want to meet Matt. And then Reba's like, you should probably meet Matt so you can make sure there's mutual respect and everyone understands the boundaries. And he's like, I don't want to do that. I literally laughed out loud when they decide to have a FaceTime call, but Gino doesn't have to look at Matt and Matt doesn't get to look at Gino.
Yeah.
I thought that was so uncomfortable. The whole thing was so weird.
I was thinking the whole time, Matt, don't say something stupid like, hey, babe, how's it going? I miss you, right? Or something dumb like that. I was thinking he's going to say something stupid and Gino's going to lose it. And Jasmine, she looked uncomfortable, but I was thinking Matt's going to say something stupid and Jasmine is going to be like, don't say anything dumb. Don't say anything dumb. And I'm not saying that, they've had sex or I think they've done anything wrong or whatever. I'm just thinking they're really good friends, obviously. But I was hoping, I don't know. They're still on the phone, obviously, in the next episode, but I don't know.
Well, in therapy, Jasmine's word is evolve. Their relationship is evolving. They're going to do this open marriage thing. They're going to figure it out. She's fighting for her marriage, right? She's going to figure out how to make this work. And everyone's like, Gino said yes to the open marriage. And he's sitting there with his upside down mouth, just pouting. But then they talk about it and he goes, my word is comeback. We really made a comeback. Like he feels like, yeah, look at us. We figured it out. And Florian goes, Gino, no need to watch more porn. Just watch Jasmine and Matt have sex. What the hell is going on? And Rob is like, what are you doing? This makes no sense. Rob's calling it out. He's like, the second you get home, she's gonna go have sex with him. You're cool with that? You're saying you're fine with this. No, you're not. You're lying. You're not okay with this. And Gino's like, eventually, we're going to become more intimate because she's going to stop yelling at me. He has made himself into the victim so hard. It is so wild. I think at one point Matt was like, just pull your dick out, you fucking weirdo. I was like, I bet you never thought you were going to say that. Oh, the whole thing is just so insane. They've gone so far down this path in La La Land that doesn't make sense in reality. And then in between the sheets, I want to know what you thought when Gino told Josh, the only reason I said it was going to be okay for Jasmine to have sex with Matt is because Jasmine told me that Matt was gay.
That's a lie.
I did believe it for a second.
That's a lie. He's a liar. She never said that. There's no way she said that. That's a complete lie. I knew it was a lie the second he said it. There's no way. Every single cast member is blaming Jasmine for this entire thing. Rob is triggered by Jasmine. Completely triggered. And he's triggered from Jasmine because he has infidelity issues. Completely. everybody is super judgy. This entire open marriage thing, everybody is blaming Jasmine. Everybody. Rob turns around and says, the second you leave, she's going to go cheat. Florian, just go watch Jasmine cheat. Every single person says it's her fault. Why is it her fault?
Well,
Why?
all the men are saying that. I think Stacy's on her side. I think Julia's on her side. I think it's because she's actually getting what she wants is part of it. She's not going to get it from Gino, so she figured out a way to do it. Whereas you look, I think Reba made such an amazing point because Reba said, Rob is so triggered because he doesn't practice ethical non-monogamy.
Right.
He practices non-ethical monogamy.
Right.
He is cheating. And so when he watches someone have that conversation, whether or not it's going to work out for Jasmine and Gino, which it's not, just them having that conversation in the light of day to say, hey, you're not meeting my needs. I haven't been laden forever. This isn't okay. I would like to have this and I could get it over there. Let's figure out how to make this happen unless you want to do something else. Is so triggering for Rob because he is resentful because he doesn't feel like he's allowed to have those conversations. He can't have those conversations because he's already done it without those conversations. Reba called him out so hard. In between the sheets, not to his face.
Right.
But he was freaking out. And then he ended up saying at one point, how is it fair? She's like crying and she's like, I haven't had sex in over 9 months. And he goes, I also didn't. So, but that doesn't mean I get to go out and cheat. She's like, I'm not cheating. After watching her react and after watching her have these conversations over and over and over again, I do think that she has had maybe an emotional affair with Matt. I think she is emotionally connected to Matt. I think she's physically attracted to Matt. I don't think that she's crossed the line. I don't think that she would go through all of this and possibly have to give that up if she already had it to do this. I think she's crazy and wacky. I don't think she's bad. I just think this is the wrong solution to this problem. But I get why she's trying, because what else is she supposed to do at this point?
Yeah. Well, I think the women are judging her. And I mean, even between the sheets, I think Julia, Stacy, Natalie, Sophie, I think every single one of them.
I was disappointed in Sophie.
They super judge her super hard. And this whole situation is something Gino created. But Jasmine is the villain in this. It's disgusting. And then he turns around and makes himself the victim. No. Mm-mm.
She put me in a corner.
Yep.
No, you put her in a corner.
Yep.
She put me in a corner, he says, and I only agreed because she said he was gay. I'm sorry.
No.
There's nothing about Matt that flags as gay to me.
No. Not even nothing.
Not even a little bit.
Not even
What about a gay... And Josh even, like, step by step explains why a gay man is not asking to have sex with Jasmine. And he was like, well, it's just because they're friends and he wants to do that.
Nope.
And he was like, gay men don't want to have sex with their friends that are women.
Yeah.
That would make them straight. He was like, well, maybe he's just going to eat her out or something. Yep. He's like, no, I think they like that even less.
Yeah.
You could see Gino threw that out there as a last ditch effort to try and look like the victim in this. Mm-hmm. Josh was like, no, that doesn't make sense.
Nope.
But somehow Josh still took his side.
Yeah.
Even though it was so clearly a lie.
Yeah.
He's like, Gino, that's why none of this makes sense. It's weird that she would say that to you. It's like, she never said that. I don't believe it for a second. Josh is the king of victims, though.
Yeah.
I just hate him. And it's fun because I think at least all the women also hate him.
Yeah.
Which is nice. He's talking with Rob before the group therapy and about how he's gone through this whole thing and it's been really horrible with Natalie. There's been some good moments, but there's been a lot more bad moments and it's been really emotionally draining for him. You were the only one that was allowed to leave and you left multiple times. You pushed her away multiple times.
Yeah.
You have been flirting with one of the girls that's also here and put her in a weird position that you knew would make her crazy.
Yeah.
And she did.
Yeah.
You've been talking shit about her nonstop. and 2 nights ago could not get out of her space because you got a boner.
Yeah.
I'm so terrified. And then he's like, I've been really thinking about this and I'm terrified to have commitment with her. And now I'm realizing maybe I'm the problem. But you know why he's the problem, guys? It's because he cares too much.
Yeah.
He cares too much and he's too worried about her. He's too worried about her. What's going to happen to her if he's not there to do everything? Fuck off.
Yeah.
God, he sucks. And again, I don't like Rob, but Rob was I liked his insight, which was that Josh has always been 1 foot out, 1 foot in this relationship.
Yeah.
And he's like, we call that Captain Save-A-Ho.
It's amazing.
And I think that that's kind of what Josh was trying to do, but only as much as he wants to.
Oh, sure.
He didn't go to the strip club, meet a stripper, and go, I'm going to fix your life, and then invest all of his money in it. I think he met Natalie and went, I'm going to make your life nicer, but over there.
I
don't want to. Don't call me, I'll call you.
Right.
Then they give their words in therapy. And Natalie says that her word is wall. I really enjoy her analogies.
Yeah.
She said that wall because when you are playing squash and you're hitting the ball back and forth, you're really not playing another opponent, you're playing yourself.
Yep.
And that Josh is a wall, not really playing with her. She gave a more descriptive explanation that made less and less sense as she went on, and it was delightful. But I get it, because it's like, he's not really participating in this. And then Josh said that he was scared. That was his word.
Yeah.
Just being so vulnerable. Thanks, Josh. Because Natalie needs 100%, and he can't give that to her. Can't give her 100% because he has another girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
That lives at his house. Oh, and then they're like, can you tell her why you're afraid? And he's like trying to look at her, but the sun is in his face.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did.
So she's got like the shadow on her face,
Yeah.
and he's like looking at her, but also into the sun.
Yeah.
And then he's like, can I touch you? And she goes, no. And he just kept saying, if I'm the problem, if that's me, I'm so sorry. No, of course you're the problem, Josh.
Yeah.
What I loved is how well she handled that. I thought that was the best that she could do. She's smiling. She's very calm, which I think is probably scary. And she was like, I am relieved. They're like, what's going on, Natalie? And she's like, no, I'm relieved. This is the first time he's ever been completely honest with me, and I respect honesty. And this is the first time that I can honestly say that I really respect you, because I know that you're being honest for once. Then Heidi, the therapist, is like, so are you guys still doing the recommitment ceremony or no? Just because we have to know how many chairs or something. I don't know. She checked in.
How many pizzas we're going to order.
They're like, they just broke up. And they're like, no, I think we're done. And they get up, and Natalie walks away with her head held high. And I think Josh was like, he's like, I didn't know what she was going to do. Was she going to get upset? Was she going to cry? Was she going to scream at me? Was she going to yell? And she did the worst thing, which was give him a very non-reaction. She just gray rocked him and was very pleasant. And you could just see him spin out of control. So he's chasing after her through the resort. Natalie, let's sit down. And then he needed to sit her down and make her cry so he could leave.
Yeah, don't hate me.
Is me?
No, that's what he says to her. He has to sit her down to make her feel bad, to say, don't hate me. I really don't like it when men do that. It's very manipulative. Do you need to say that? No, you don't need to say that, because I've walked away. This is ended. It's ended. Leave me the fuck alone.
They just had this perfect breakup in front of the therapist.
Yep.
She handled that perfect. And he was like, she didn't yell.
Yep.
She was not reactive to me.
Yep.
It sucks. So he basically sits there and he's like, don't hate me, and I really love you and care for you. And she's rewatching and goes, oh, he said he loved me. She's like, he'd never say it before. And it was like, oh, that's so awful. She's still excited about that. He finally is, I care about you, but we can't do this. And he just had to like grind her down emotionally. And she's crying, I'm going to miss you, but I don't think that you're my person. I don't love you. My heart doesn't belong with you.
Yeah.
She was like, it's like I have a map of New York, but I'm walking around LA. It just isn't going to work.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's another great analogy. He just needed to see her cry. The second she's crying, he's like, I'm going to let you calm down. I'll see you around.
Now
and
I
he
feel
gets up
better.
and leaves.
Yep.
Fuck you, Josh.
Yep.
What a dickhead.
Yep.
And she says, you know, I do love him, but that hurt my dignity because why am I not enough? Like, if he can love me, but he can't give me, that sucks. But I'm higher than this. I don't need to have the big reaction. I don't need to give him the drama. I think her crying was what he needed to finally actually let go. But how many times does he have to make her cry? It was so selfish. Like, is that narcissistic behavior?
Yes.
Isn't
it's
that
gross.
what that was?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, so yucky.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also sad because she and Stacy have formed this very sweet connection.
Yeah.
Because I think they're both very reactive women. And she sees herself there and she's like, oh, she just wants to be loved. She just wants to have a family. And he just pulled it away, teased her with it, and then pulled it away again. And Stacy's crying because she just wants to be loved.
Yeah.
And that was really sad.
Yeah.
So luckily, Natalie's going to be able to move on and be separate from this, I think. I think this is finally going to be the end.
Yeah, she did say in between the sheets she found out that Josh had another girl. And that she's pretty disappointed and she's pretty mad about it. But yeah, we were wondering when and if she'd find out that he had that girl living in his house.
No, I really hope we find out more at the reunion.
Yeah.
I want to find out everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we even see Jasmine and Gino sneak peek of the recommitment ceremony. We see Sophie and Rob.
Yeah.
Sophie, she looks like she's going through the process, but I don't think she's recommitting. And Stacy's sobbing. Stacy cries all the time though, so it's hard to tell. I don't know if Stacy's got the buy-in or not. And we don't see Julia and Brandon because Julia sits Brandon down before a recommitment ceremony and says, I need this to recommit.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do this for you. I need you to support me in this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I think her ask is significantly bigger than his.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I also think that she has a right to ask for that.
Oh, sure.
Where are you at with the couples? What are you thinking?
Well, I do want to circle back to Natalie because we saw in between the sheets that she had to sit down with Sophie. And I really liked that interaction because she came to Sophie, they had a one-on-one, and she brought her coffee. She asked about Rob. It was very kind. It was very friendly. She was very interactive with Sophie, and then Natalie apologized for everything that Natalie did and said. Natalie said, look, I was very weak. It was very situational. You know, I shouldn't have done any of those things. I shouldn't have said any of those things. I'm really sorry. Sophie explained about living in Austin and possibly moving to LA and not sure what she should do. And Natalie was very sweet, I thought, and said, if you move to LA and you give me a chance, I'm a very good friend and I'm a nice person. You could see a different side of me and we could hang out. And then you go to between the sheets and a clip to Sophie and being a raunchy bitch, which I thought, and saying, I don't like Natalie. And no, we didn't hang out. We have a mutual friend. And the friend said, we're going out to dinner. Natalie found out. Natalie wants to go. And Sophie said, no, she can't go. She can go pound sand. I don't like her. Tell her no, she can't come. After all of that, Sophie told her to fuck off. Like, I thought Natalie was totally genuine.
Yeah, it was such a sweet, sincere thing. And it was also, hey, I fucked up. Which she took. Natalie was kind of on an apology toward these episodes, but it seemed incredibly genuine, incredibly insightful.
Yes.
And self-aware. It was very impressive to me because I can't do that. I wish I was better at that. She did the same thing with Julia, although Julia called her out. Julia said, you're laughing at me, you're making jokes when I'm talking about these very vulnerable things, and it sucks. Don't do that. It's not acceptable to me. And Natalie immediately gets up and said, I'm dealing with my own shit,
Yeah.
and I took it out on you in a
Yes.
way that was not okay. And I wasn't thinking about you. I was only thinking about myself. And I don't know why I was blind to that I was hurting you. I don't want to hurt you. I'm so sorry. And it was such a good... The way I just re-said it was not even close to it. She was so articulate and genuine and clear with, I was being an asshole. I'm sorry for being an asshole. We can all be assholes. I think it's going, okay, I'm not cool with how I just behaved. I would like to fix this. And I think she genuinely wants to. Now, I genuinely think Natalie does want to. I wonder if she gets in her own way, though. Maybe there's something that we don't know about happening later.
Mm-hmm.
But Sophie's also, I think it comes down to when they are interviewing Sophie about meeting up in LA. She's like, oh, I went to LA and I did not see her because she sees women as competition and I'm not interested in being around something like that. That conversation they had was they were both so open and they were both so vulnerable and it didn't at all acknowledge any of that. I think Sophie's just so immature.
Yeah.
And I think that she's going to hold a grudge when it's convenient. And I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Because Natalie wants to be a girl's girl.
Yes. And she was with Stacy and she tried to do it with Sophie and it was super disappointing.
Yeah.
I felt bad for her.
I did too. I hope she gets her stuff together and I hope that she works it out. I think that she says that she's very, very loyal. And I honest to God think she finds somebody that appreciates her for who she is and can embrace that. I think she would be like the best wife.
Mm-hmm.
Your house would be so clean.
Mm-hmm.
Everything would be done for you. She wants to do all of that. She wants to take care of things with you, for you, be with you.
Yeah.
You just have to be comfortable with an anxious attachment style. And I think that she'd be like an amazing mom. It's a real bummer. Honestly, I think he released her finally. So all of that's finally over for her. So hopefully she is starting fresh.
Yeah.
You know what else I realized we forgot to talk about?
BDSM playground.
Yes! Group, sex, therapy.
Yes.
So Reba set up a room for them in the conference hall of this resort. And it had these tables set up with just whips and collars and masks and
handcuffs
and a swing set and just bondage gear, which she said that she wanted to introduce these couples into the landscape of yes, and how she wants to open their eyes, give them a judgment-free zone of letting everyone in and try stuff out that they've never felt comfortable messing around with before and ask questions and that sort of thing. How shocked were you when the first person to jump in was Brandon?
Right. This is the same person an hour ago that was bawling in a pool full of people saying, I'm so embarrassed to talk in front of people and thank you for being my friend and all of this other stuff. I have social anxiety. And now he's a dog he's got a mask on.
Full leather dog mask.
Right. Like, yes, it was surprising.
And then he grabs the whip and he's sex man. And he's whipping it around and he's pretending he's a comic book hero.
Yes.
But he's into it.
Yeah.
And Reba reads the situation as it was great because he brought this sense of humor. Usually for him and Julia, they're getting into sex only because he's thinking baby, baby, baby. So they need to infuse this fun.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, no, because the last time they did sex therapy, they infused fun and it just turned into like her kind of making fun of him.
Yeah.
And riding him around and laughing at him.
Yeah, shaving his armpits.
And then it turned into that. It needs to be, she needs like more like him taking charge, being passionate.
Yes.
And
not
for
goofy.
lack of the better word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to not be goofy. He needs to be the aggressor. He needs to take that masculine stance. Because he's either goofy, he's sex man, or he's pretending that he's like dancing around in a robe and getting his armpits shaved. She wants somebody, I think that's going to be a little bit more the one that is pushing for it, but also not going, I want to have sex now. You haven't had sex with me in so long. Like, he's either a baby whiner or he's a goofball, and I don't think that's what she's into.
No, she wants a little Christian Grey, right? 50 Shades of Grey type.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to tell her what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's kind of how he is in their relationship as well. And then he suddenly becomes, that's all up to her in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And then he's pissed about it. Like, it doesn't quite work out. But he had a good time. He let loose. He wasn't drinking, but Joseph was there.
Right.
Oh. And then Jasmine was like, oh, I want to try the swing. It was a full swing setup. Yeah. It was like half swing, half gynecologist chair.
Yeah, I thought that too. And if the men listening don't understand, you are laying on your back and your legs are spread. So that's
spread, and there's like stirrups to keep your feet up.
So that's what we mean by a gynecologist chair.
And then Jasmine wanted to try that. Gino jumps up and he's like going to town, miming it for everyone.
He air fucks her in front of everybody. Yeah. And Reba is completely shocked because she said, how can he do that in front of everybody, but he won't do that in the bedroom? Why?
When it's just the two of them.
Yeah.
He can perform it for everyone.
Right.
I'm going to say it again.
Right.
My theory is Gino is gay or pan or bi. I don't think he is attracted to Jasmine. The way that he looked at Josh in between the sheets, I've never seen him look at Jasmine that way. I don't think he's attracted to her, but I don't think he would be comfortable admitting to himself that his fantasies lie elsewhere.
Sure.
Which is why he's picked a woman who is so forward sexually, leads with her boobs, her body. She has done all of that work very intentionally. He's picked what, maybe society, the male gaze would say is like the perfect woman physically, and then made that a priority above other parts of who she is. And then when it's not working out, he's making it her fault. Who knows what porn he's watching, but he needs a Viagra to make that happen for himself either way.
Yeah.
He's more interested in his own boner. And the way that he interacts with his men, with Florian, with Josh, I don't think that he enjoys women in that way. You see him have so much fun with Jasmine when they're on their own and they're being silly together. You can see they enjoy each other as people. I don't think he's sexually attracted to her.
Yeah.
I just don't think he is.
No, I either.
I think because he probably feels so out of control, I think he enjoys that, having that control over her. He feels strong and in control when it comes to their relationship dynamic. Accepting this open marriage is just a way that he is flailing, trying to find some other mode of control.
Yeah.
It's a complicated conspiracy theory I have about Gino.
Well, I also wonder, since he likes to watch so much, I wonder if he wants or thinks about that he actually wants to be the girl getting fucked, right, by the guy. And he wants people watching. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, not that he wants to dress up like a woman, or not that he's technically gay, but he wants to be the woman getting fucked by the man, but having other people watch him. That's really complicated. Maybe. Do you see what I'm saying? Because he watches porn.
I do.
And then he did that because he did that in front of everybody, and he was he was looking at people while he was performing it, watching their face, and being very excited about that. I don't know.
I think you've got something there. I think there's something there. I don't think he wants to see Jasmine have sex with someone else. No. But I do think he would like people to watch him.
Yes, but it's about him.
You have something there.
Right.
But do you remember, was it Florian that twirled him around? That was the best day of his life.
Or was it Benny? Who was it? Somebody. Who was it?
I think it was Florian.
Okay.
Because they really connected, and I think that that's something that he would be really into. Next week is going to be a shit show.
I know. We
get the reunion. I'm excited. I'm ready for it. And again, I'm just holding out for the Valley. I'm so glad that we have a date for that.
No. So nice.
Because there's so much so much going on. Somebody made a montage of just all the epic things that Kristen has said over the years. And half of them were like, suck a dick. And
yes.
it's really hard. It's so hard being an empath.
Oh, no.
If someone says they're an empath, I immediately don't believe
100%. I was just going to say that. Do we know if she's having a boy or a girl? Did we figure that out?
I think it's a girl.
Oh, God. I'm so glad.
But I don't know why I think that.
I think that too, because that's what she deserves. She deserves to have a girl to know the trauma.
Well, I'm glad it's a girl because she would be one of those boy moms. And I am a mother of sons. I'm not a boy mom. But the boy moms that are like, I'm the first love of their life. Like, if she had a son and then when he gets his first girlfriend, she's going to unravel.
Right. Her daughter's going to say, suck a dick, Mom. And Kristen's going to be like, oh my God, what do I do? Right.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
No.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
Yep.
We've got a lot of good TV in our future, and I feel really positive about it.
Yes.
All right. Well, I am going to catch up on Real Housewives so I can actually have a full conversation with you about it. And I'm just ready for next week.
I know. And we don't have to watch Captain Save-A-Ho anymore. He's gone.
Anymore. Yeah. We do see Natalie at the recommitment ceremonies. We don't see, because she's just going to be supportive.
Yes.
Look at Natalie.
See?
It's not even about her and she's showing up. That could go one way or another. We'll see. But yeah, he's not there. He drove home.
To his girlfriend.
Whoops.
He's had the whole time.
Fucking Josh. All right. So we've saged our TVs of Josh.
Yes.
For now. But not your TikTok. You just sent me another video of him.
I did.
Ugh.
Yuck.
He can't stop. I am so glad he doesn't have another venue onto television right now.
I know.
I would let Sandoval back on my TV before I would let Josh back on my TV.
Oh, yeah.
That's how serious this is. And on that note, it's been a pleasure listening to me and working with me today.
Happy birthday to us again.
Happy birthday to us again. All right. Love you, miss you.
Love you. Miss you. Bye.
Bye-bye.